Ooh, fun. Are you ready?
Alright, we're rolling.
Dow dow dow, da da do dow 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 dow, da da do dow dow do dow dow dow, da da do dow 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 dow, dow 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 dow.
Well, hey, folks. I told you it was gonna rain, and guess what? It's raining. I've even got an umbrella over my head, held by a mysterious hand from nowhere. Yes, it is a cold, dark, and stormy night. Actually, it's not very cold, it's rather pleasant. But I figured, what better a night to talk about the fall of mankind than this one? So here we go. Of all the wild creatures the eternal God had created, the serpent was the craftiest.
Is it true that God has forbidden you to eat fruits from the trees of the garden? He said to the woman.
No, serpent! God said we are free to eat from the fruit of the trees in the garden. We are granted access to any variety and all amounts of fruit with one exception. The fruit from the tree found in the center of the garden. God instructed us not to eat or touch of the fruit, or we would die.
Die? No, you'll not die. God is playing games with you. The truth is that God knows the day you eat the fruit from that tree, you will awaken something powerful within you and become like Him, possessing knowledge of both good and evil.
So the woman approached the tree,
Eyed its fruit,
and coveted its mouth-watering, wisdom-granting beauty. She plucked a fruit and ate. Not bad. She then offered it to her husband, who was close by. Eat this, darling. And he ate as well. Suddenly their eyes were opened to a reality previously unknown. For the first time they sensed their vulnerability and rushed to hide their naked bodies, stitching together fig leaves into crude loincloths. Then they heard the sound of the eternal God walking in the cool, misting shadows of the garden. The man and his wife took cover among the trees and hid from the eternal God. God, calling to Adam, "Where are you?" Adam, "When I heard the sound of your voice coming in the garden, I was afraid because I am naked, so I hid from you." "Who told you that you are naked? Have you eaten from the tree in the center of the garden, the very one I commanded you not to eat from?" It was her. It was she, the woman you gave me as a companion. She put the fruit in my hands and I ate it." "Woman, what have you done?" It was the serpent. He tricked me and I ate it."
What you have done, serpent, carries great consequences. Now you are cursed more than cattle or wild beasts. You will writhe on your belly forever, consuming the dust out of which man was made. I will make you and your brood enemies of the woman and all her children. The woman's child will stomp your head and you will strike his heel."
To the woman he said, "As a consequence of your actions, I will increase your suffering, the pain of childbirth, and the sorrow of bringing forth the next generation. You will desire your husband, but rather than a companion, he will be the dominant partner." To the man he said, "Because you followed your wife's advice, instead of my command and ate of the tree from which I had forbidden you to eat, cursed is the ground. For the rest of your life you will fight for every crumb of food from the crusty clump of clay I made you from. As you labor, the ground will produce thorns and thistles. You will eat the plants of the field. Your brow will sweat for your mouth to taste even a morsel of bread until the day you return to the very ground I made you from. From dust you have come, and to dust you shall return." The man named his wife Eve because she was destined to become the mother of all living. In Hebrew, Eve sounds like the word meaning life-giver. The eternal God pieced together skins of animals and made clothes for Adam and Eve to wear. Well, that was very kind of him. And God said to himself, "Look, the human has become like one of us, possessing the knowledge of good and evil. If we don't do something, he will reach out his hand and take some of the fruit from the tree of life, eat it, and live forever." So the eternal God banished Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. See you later, boys and girl, boy and girl. Yes, goodbye. They were exiled from paradise, and they were sentenced to laborious lives, working the very ground man came from. After driving them out, he stationed winged gardens at the east end of the garden, and set up a sword of flames, which alertly turned back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. They ain't getting back in, I'm telling you. And guess what? That's the end of the story for today. It looks like Adam and Eve are pretty messed up. Oh boy. But there's always hope in the future, yes? Just like there's hope from the rain with this wonderful umbrella coming out of nowhere. Hey, guess what? This was Genesis chapter 3. In another 3 days, I will be going back to Grace Bible College, the wonderful college on my shirt. So I will see you in Michigan later. Peace, homies. Get away, bug. They stitched together fig leaves into crude loincloths. Not bad. Oh my, a bug. She then offered the fruit to her husband, who was close by, and he ate as well. And her husband had an iPod.
Consuming the dust out of which man was made.
That tastes lousy. Poor serpent.